live on the scene. We got Vic Jr. We got Germ So True. We in the building. We here to do this thing, talk about this football game like only we can do here live on the scene. Vic, man, how you doing, man?
Feeling good, bro. You could feel the football in the air as August we get to the middle of August. Fantasy drafts are gonna start up if they haven't started already. Lots of betting. This is when the betting gets a lot more, a lot deeper, a lot more involved and stuff like that. So definitely football's in the air. Winter's around the corner or fall. Let's get going, man. Just trying to get into the gear of things.
Absolutely. So let's start at the top. Our breaking news, we're gonna start with, we're just gonna come right at y'all with it, man, because that's just how we do our thing here at the scene. We want to bring it right to y'all. So we got Josh Allen. Our guy Josh Allen here has signed a 6-year, $258 million contract with the Buffalo Bills to stay at the quarterback position for them. Hey man, say what you want to say, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh man, this is a crazy contract" and everything else like that. What we're gonna do here today is we're gonna talk about this and what it means for the other players, but most importantly, what we're gonna do, Vic, we're gonna talk about what this means just in general for quarterback, the quarterback landscaping, but also we're gonna talk about the technicalities of the deal. So, what was your initial thoughts and reactions when you heard this deal had went down, and how were things going? What went through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, the first thing that you're thinking about is damn, 258 million. What was it, 150 guaranteed? Um, and then you look at the years, like six. Wow, so like 40 million per year, roughly. Um, you know, why didn't he get a 10-year contract? Like were they hesitant on giving him a decade-long contract, kind of like what Pat Mahomes got with the Chiefs? Yeah, I had several questions as to what exactly, what's the thought process. Of course, those kind of things is what interest us. We scout these players and we see them grow as we go along. Josh Allen was our number one ranked quarterback. If I remember correctly, was at the 18 draft,
Yeah,
2018.
slightly ahead of Baker, like a spot ahead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Baker,
we had him
and we
slightly
had
ahead of Baker.
Tremaine Edmonds, also a Buffalo Bill in between them.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's interesting.
So yeah. I mean, it's a thick contract. Of course, you said we're gonna get more in depth in it to see what exactly year by year, the paperwork is on that, so the numbers on that. So, but yeah, I mean, I think he deserves it. Again, I still feel like he's a top tier quarterback in this league. I still think that there's growth there. To me, his accuracy improved significantly from the previous season. So hey, they gotta pay up. They gotta pay up.
So the biggest thing for Josh is going to the next stage. He is the first quarterback not named Pat Mahomes to pretty much go to the AFC Championship game over the last couple of years. When it comes down to it, Tannehill's reached the AFC Championship game to go along with Pat Mahomes. Since Pat Mahomes has been a starting quarterback the last three seasons, we had Pat versus Brady, Pat versus Tannehill, and we had Pat versus Josh. So with that being said, we've seen a steady increase. So if you're in a situation and you're Buffalo, and last year you make it to the AFC Championship game against Pat Mahomes, you're saying to yourself, it's not much else we're going to be able to do to lock up or secure our future better than securing our quarterback. That's the first thing. The next thing here is you got a lot of young pieces here on this football team. You pay some veteran guys at certain positions, but you got a lot of young talent. You haven't, invested significantly into your offensive line. Maybe that's something that we can look into further as we continue to move forward. And maybe with Josh being paid this money, you'll start to figure out some of the other things that you need to be drafting moving forward because you need to protect the franchise now.
Right.
So let's get into these numbers real quick so everybody can see everything that's going on. Let's start from the top. I mean, obviously, with us starting from the top, I mean, 6 years, $258 million. I'm going to put it into perspective for everybody like this. Number one, only about 3 of these years are guaranteed. So that means he has a guaranteed salary in about 3 of these years. What I need everybody to understand also is the last 2 years of the deal, the team can cut him and save over $81 million of the actual salary. So that cuts a good $81 million off the back end of that 268. As well as that, they can also cut him and save $30 million in 2026 and only owe him $8 million guaranteed. So there's a lot of money here. So I just right there in that situation, just gave y'all $110 million at least that he's not going to be seeing. So with the $110 million he's not going to be seeing, that means only a certain amount of this is guaranteed. And it's showing me here, as I'm looking at our trusty resource here over to cap.com, it's showing me that only 100 million of this deal is guaranteed for him. So 100? What does this mean? Only 100. It's saying only 100 million, 100 million and $38,595 is guaranteed. That's what's fully guaranteed money. That's what it says.
Wow.
Go ahead, Vic.
So I mean,
slide in right there.
No, I mean, yeah. So it's basically like you said, the top 3 years seems like it's a front-loaded contract where they're paying him the first 3 years. They're obviously projecting that he should improve at least within the next 3 years, and then anything can happen from there. You know, these teams are always going to negotiate ways to protect themselves as well from these situations because it's football. Football at any moment, you know, the player could be done. Any little thing the player could be done for his career, or just not be as effective as he once was or could be. So I mean, I think it's not a bad deal for both sides, bro. You know, it's still a lot of money for Josh to be able to pocket. So, you know, they did a good job putting this one together.
Absolutely. And here's the thing too. Even Pat Mahomes' deal is kind of like this.
Right.
So even a guy like Pat, who's proven, who's won a Super Bowl, who's been to 3 straight AFC Championships games, 2 straight Super Bowls, and he's 1-2. And Pat Mahomes still to this day has only lost to Tom Brady. So let's make sure that we understand he's only lost to one person, which says a lot. That says a lot. And he was a couple plays away from, in that Super Bowl, from potentially being in 3 straight Super Bowls and 2 out of 3.
Right.
So, Vic, as we talk about this, what we talked about, you know, on a previous show we did a while back about how Pat has affected all of these other young quarterbacks' money. We talked about that and talked about how just important it is this with this guy being there in the AFC now as the proverbial gatekeeper. Is Josh Allen a threat to him and that Buffalo Bills organization feels that way? Or is this just the team saying all it takes is for us to get hot 1 year, get everything going in one of these next 3 years?
Yeah, make it worth
it. Pat and then the Chiefs can go down any day because Goliath can always be slayed in football. And we make it to the Super Bowl and potentially have a chance to win it.
I mean, that's some great questions, some great points there, bro. Because like, you know how I feel about Pat. I think obviously he is a top 5 quarterback in this league. I also do think that he was put in a great position. Is he one of the best arm talents we've ever seen? Yeah, for sure. You know, but he does have some slight issues in the pocket. You could tell he's a lot more comfortable, running out of the pocket and making plays out of the pocket. But those things bring risk, or there's just risk involved with that. You know, everybody is so in love with the mobile quarterback, which is cool. It's exciting to watch. But then when that quarterback is no longer available to you, then what? You know what I mean? So the Chiefs gave him a 10-year contract. that's one thing in it right there where I hope Pat can improve from the pocket and get more comfortable staying there and making throws from there. Then you also ask the question, how long will he have the weapons around him available? Now, you could say the same thing about Josh. Look at how Stephon Diggs came in and completely changed everything for everybody in Buffalo, for himself, for Josh, for that offense.
We're
You know,
talking
how much?
about we're talking about a situation, Vic, and this is crazy because I was looking at the numbers yesterday. Do you realize Cole had 82 receptions, right? Stephon Diggs had like 115.
It was ridiculous, dog. He had a ridiculous season. Like it was like he should be part of that 99 club, whatever this big thing that they make about Madden being 99 grade with the players and stuff like that. Like that's how great he was last season. And for him to go from Minnesota, which was a great spot for him, you know, with the quarterback situation, the receivers that were around him, the running back, to go to Buffalo and do what he did in Buffalo immediately. Like Tom Brady and his weapons struggled to start the season. Josh and Stephon Diggs came like they've been playing together for 3 or 4 years already. Like it was incredible. So, you know, my point is, one day Pat is not going to have those weapons, and I want to see how he reacts to that. I want to see if he can become a better passer. And the same thing with Josh. One day that Stephon Diggs is not going to be there either. You know, is Josh going to be that guy in the pocket where he can make throws out of the pocket, because he is another one that is comfortable outside the pocket? Which one of these two guys, you know, and we all obviously have other young guns we're going to talk about in a minute here, but, you know, which of these guys are going to become that consistent pocket passer as their career goes on? Because at the quarterback position, you're hoping that you got a good 10 to 12 years from that guy that you pay this much money to.
Absolutely. So we got two things to put in perspective here real quick. We talked about what I like what you brought up when you said, you know, getting better in the pocket. The problem is Pat is still good enough in the pocket to the point where he's won a Super Bowl already.
Yeah.
He's already better than all the rest of these guys in the pocket.
Right. And that says a lot. That says a lot.
It does. But you know something else that's scary, that's even more scary here? Baker is probably better in the pocket than Josh Allen, to be fair. But Josh Allen just brings some intangibles on Sundays that just makes Buffalo a very tough team to beat.
Right. Like
Buffalo last year didn't have a running game. Let's put that into perspective. We talk about a quarterback throwing for 4,500 yards, 4,400 yards plus, and a guy who didn't have a solid running game, not because his offensive line was dominant in pass protection, but because they just weren't good in run blocking.
Right. It's an awful run blocking offensive line right now too. You know, because of course people, you know, when the average fan is gonna just look at it and be like, oh, Zach Moss is no good, or Devon Singletary is no good, and things like that. But you know, that offensive line has to move people, and they were one of the worst ranked run blocking teams in the league. You know, but vice versa, they were one of the best pass blocking offensive line in the league. You know what I mean? So what is one thing that we always talk about with the offensive line? They rather move forward than move backwards. But not in Buffalo's case. They're better pass blockers right now moving backwards than they are run blocking. So they have to, in order to protect Josh, again, because he's another guy that likes to get out of the pocket. He is a big body. He's basically like a better throwing Cam Newton right now. But you know, you know what I mean? Like they have to protect the quarterback from having to move so much. And the only way you do that is having an effective run game. You know, so that goes with the offensive line, that goes with the running backs. Let's just get a running game for him out there, man. See how much better they can be.
Absolutely. So Josh Allen, we just talked about the deal. For those who just joining, $268 million, $100 million pretty much is guaranteed. Last 2 years, he can be cut with nothing counting against the cap. The third year, the year before the 2 years, he can be cut. He's only going to schedule to be making $8 million. So with all of that being said, where does this bring in the market for guys like Baker Mayfield, for guys like Lamar Jackson, for guys like Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold. Josh Rosen right now is just simply trying to stay in the NFL. That's not to be mean. It's just to call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he just hasn't been able to translate over to the NFL game. That's what he struggled with. Sam Darnold is literally fighting for his life as an NFL quarterback right now. Why is Sam I am fighting for his life? They said the Jets were this terrible team. We're going to see a lot of things when we talk about some training camp news from the Jets a little later. But Sam hasn't played up to his potential either.
If there was their potential,
I mean, we just again, they all got potentials, but most of them don't have the credentials. So, so then we got Lamar Jackson, and then of course we got Baker Mayfield. Lamar Jackson, former league MVP, 2018, sure, 2019, whatever. With all of that being said, people are lobbying for the $43 million a year type of money. The thing is, it's going to be hard to pay him that with him being reliant on a lot of the players around him to be able to be there. You're coming up on a time frame where you're getting ready to have to pay Hollywood. Hollywood Brown now has been in the league for about 3-4 years. Mark Andrews is getting ready to come up on a deal. All of your offensive line, you just shipped your second best offensive lineman to Kansas City, and he was getting ready to get paid. You've paid corners, and you don't have any pass rushers paid and not a lot of capital spent in those areas. I'm a little concerned for that organization, not because of the player, but because of what the organization is trying to build. Yeah. If we're building a championship organization, Vic, as I bring you back, what are the things that we need to focus on? We talk about this every year. The pillars of a football team are quarterback, left tackle, defensive end, and then after that, you got to have a matchup player in your secondary. So it's either a corner or an elite safety.
Yeah, I mean, like I always like to break it down is quarterback, the guy that can protect your quarterback and the guy that can bring the quarterback down. You know what I mean? So, do you have those things on your football team? If you're not going to have the elite quarterback, which we'll get to in a second, do you have an elite offensive line? Do you have an elite defensive line, pass rush and stuff like that to help you, make a playoff run? Those are the questions. They paid left tackle, that's escaping my name, my memory right now. Yeah, Ronnie Stanley. They pay Ronnie Stanley pretty well. He gets hurt his first season, out for the season. Then you had a situation where the right tackle, wants to get paid left tackle money, and they trade him away. So, that offensive line for the Ravens is one of my question marks for that football team, obviously. They had a lot of guys move on as well, especially the right guard who was outstanding. So, it's going to be a question is, can they block the same way for Lamar and for that running game? And can they provide a pass rush, and then of course, the last and ultimate question, can Lamar take a step forward as a passer? I think there's a gap there personally.
That's the part that we're going to see as we go. They're saying that they need to take more of the training wheels off the offense from Greg Roman and everybody like that. So this year we should see some more things. I mean, they brought in Sammy Watkins, whose only 1,000-yard seasons have ironically been with Greg Roman. So it's kind of one of those situations where we're going to see a lot this year. We're going to see a lot of things this year that we probably wouldn't normally see. And it's not because of anything other than we got to be brutally honest with ourselves at this stage. What is the Ravens organization going after right now? Are we trying to win a championship? Because there's two ways to do this, right? You draft a quarterback and you build around him, or you sign a quarterback and then you build around him that way. You see, both ways, you're still building around your quarterback. But are you building around your quarterback's talent, or are you building around your quarterback's contract? Now we have a situation where the Ravens are going to be doing both. And there lies the one thing that you can't have. If you have an elite quarterback, he can mask flaws in certain parts of the offense.
Right.
And one of those flaws that we're talking about, you can mask some of those flaws at, is in the offensive line. Brady has masked a lot of flaws for New England over the years because he's been able to process information quickly.
Nobody better.
But in the same breath, now we get to see Pat Mahomes now in a situation where we can say, all right, now he's got horses. So now what's the excuse going to be if they go to the Super Bowl again and they lose? Is it going to be the same old song, or what is it going to be? Pat didn't play bad in that Super Bowl, by the way. His guys dropped passes. But we've seen a balanced team versus a very, very, very arrogant team. And that's what we got.
Right.
So moving forward, Baker Mayfield, and then I'm gonna pass it right to you. Baker is in the best football situation of all of these guys. The Browns roster right now, currently, on paper, I would say is probably top 3.
Easy.
They have pass rushers, they got run stoppers, they got linebackers, they got corners, they've invested 3 years in a row in the top 2 rounds in cornerbacks. I mean, let's look at it from this. 2017, they went and they took Myles Garrett. Then they came back and they took David Njoku, and then they took his name escapes me at the moment, Jabril Peppers. Peppers is gone, and Njoku's still on the team, but you took a pass rusher. The next year you come back, you take a quarterback, and you take a corner. So you've just gotten the 3 pillars right there, 3 of your pillars right there. Then this past year, they took another corner, but the year before that, they took a tackle. So
they took the left tackle first, and then the corner in the second round.
No. They took the corner this year. They took the corner. Remember, it was Wills went in the first round, and then they took Grant Delpit last year.
Yeah.
He didn't play.
No, so
and then
wasn't
this year
Wills?
they took Newsome
Yeah.
in the first round, and then the year before that they took Greedy Williams.
Yeah, I forgot
in
about
the
this
second
draft
round because that's the year that they brought in Odell. So
right, so they've attacked those very important positions the last 5 years: pass rusher, quarterback, left tackle, then of course a secondary cornerback specifically that you would hope can cut half of the field, things like that. It's going to be interesting, man. Same thing with Lamar, with Baker. If you're a Baker fan, which I am, if you're Baker Mayfield right now, if you're a Cleveland fan, you have to thank God that they were able to do what they did last season, because it's obvious that the Browns will have to pay him now. What the numbers are going to be is what's going to be the interesting factor here. But he is going to be the quarterback for them because they made the playoffs. As good as the run game has been, as good as the pass rush has been for the most part last season, because they did have issues defensively. Baker still played at least top 10 type of quarterback play. So it's going to be interesting again to see what the numbers he and Lamar are able to get off of their contracts. But it's obvious that they're both going to get paid, and it could be for different reasons. Back to Lamar real quick. I mean, hey, if you're the owner of Baltimore right now, what do you care more about? Selling those tickets and jerseys or winning a championship? Because at this stage, the Raven fans and Dennis, if he's listening, he can attest to this. They act like they've won so many Super Bowls the way they praising Lamar out there. So he's one of the top jerseys that are being sold. The ticket sales, everything. Does Lamar deserve that $45 million based on the fact that he's bringing so much popularity to Baltimore? Is the question, because in my opinion, personally, I'm not going to speak for nobody else. There's a cap in his game, and they're not going to make it very far, in my opinion, in terms of the playoffs. So, I don't know what your take on that is.
So, real quick, I'm gonna ask this question. Then we're gonna wrap this part of it up. Go into some more lighter stuff with training camp news. But it says Tyrell asked us. He says, "Can Lamar be convinced to sacrifice? Would you want to ask him to do that, considering his individual accomplishments?"
Are we talking about sacrificing his pay?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Vic, I'm gonna let you go first, and then
yeah,
I'm gonna let you go first.
I mean, again, it's just one of those situations where you don't want to check some people's pockets. It's just, bro, when you look at Tom Brady and how he throughout his career has taken, his contracts have been really light. He's not taking the maximum value that he could have taken. Can we expect people to do that? Do we expect the Lamar Jackson to do that? Do you hear Lamar Jackson saying things like, "I want to win a Super Bowl"? You know what I mean? So is he worried about Super Bowl wins, or is he worried about getting paid and just putting on a show on Sundays of him running around and stuff like that? Like, it's deeper. It just gets deeper from a personal level, from a human level, to where asking these guys to sacrifice a chance to get $45 million a year to play football for 16 games. I mean, I can't say no. I can't say, nah, you shouldn't do that, because if that's the opportunity you're gonna get, then take it. Me personally, I would say give me half. But that's just me. That's Tom. So it's a long subject, man. It really is.
So I'm gonna shorten it for everybody. I'm gonna make it easy. Yes, I can ask him to take less. I can.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, "Hey, we need to build an offensive line around you, because our offensive line, being one of the best in football, is what got you an MVP."
What? It's like it's oh man, I love to be a fly on the wall when situations like that come up. You know what I mean? Like,
so we can ask that question. So
yeah, like straight up to your face, man. You can't pass, bro.
But here's where it's a trap. You can't ask a player to take less if they've flourished and they've thrived already in some type one in a system. Can't ask a player to take a check and say, "No, I'm gonna cut my check in half," because that's a personal choice. If Lamar wants to win a Super Bowl, like he's indicated in different instances, Lamar is one of those guys that he's indicated he wants to win a Super Bowl. And that's fair. He does want to do it. However, as a franchise quarterback getting paid $40 million a season or more, we got to cut some of our extracurricular activities down. This is the second time in less than a 12 calendar month time frame you've had COVID.
Oh, he got it again?
He had got it again. He just got reactivated.
I didn't even know.
It's the second time he got COVID. So we have to be careful with that. I understand we want to be in the community. I understand we want to do things out there for the kids, but we have to be careful. We have to really be careful now, because I'm looking at you every Sunday as the one guy that I need to be suiting up, rain, hail, sleet, or snow, because you're the franchise now. So going out into this community now and doing certain things and being on the field and being a part of these kid games and kid practices and stuff like that, all of that's fine, but we got to be careful. We got to be careful now.
Tanya. The man is operating on delusions of grandeur. Is that how you would pronounce that? I know what it means. But
But Vic, you understand. I think you understand where I'm coming from when I say that.
Yeah.
To ask him to do that is asking a lot, and I'm not going to ever tell him not to go for his bag. But I'm going to tell him to be reasonable. But I'm also going to tell him that he has to be more mindful and more careful moving forward, because you one bad step from twisting your ankle or breaking your leg. I don't want to see that happen to any player, let alone him.
Right.
Because I don't want his growth to ever be stunted by some injury, or I don't want him to be out of the league because of an injury.
Yes.
Say what we want to say about the player, I never want to see a player get hurt.
No.
If even if I don't agree with the way he plays, I don't want to see him get hurt. And
It's
that's the
just
biggest thing for Lamar moving forward. Take care of your body, take care of your health, because health is wealth. Literally, health is your wealth. You can't afford to take any nicked up injuries, especially to your lower extremities. Your legs are your bag, for sure. Your bag,
and that's 110% for his case. You know,
and your
it's
arm is
frustrating, bro.
permanent. So go ahead.
Yeah, right. No, it's frustrating, bro, because you know it's like these professional coaches know what it takes to win Super Bowls, man. They have to know what it takes. You know what I mean? So you're gonna bring this kid in. You know, again, God bless them with some amazing physical traits. Those are things that you cannot take away from them. That's what God decided to build them with. You know what I mean? But is that winning football, or are you just trying to sell some tickets? You know, it's you know, this is a situation that as the kid gets older, it's almost guaranteed something is gonna happen to that lower body. It's guaranteed. You know, he's not the biggest kid. He's not the Cam Newton, Josh Allen size. You know, he's one of the fastest players in the league. But at some point, he's gonna make a plant. At some point, he's gonna get hit somewhere where it's gonna affect him, and then now you don't have a quarterback. So you know, it's one of those situations like, do you put this kid? Is this kid a top 32 player to put him in, you know, as your starter, you know, at the position, or not? You know, where would Lamar be if the whole all 32 teams said you're not a capable passer? Where would he be right now? Would he be in Canada? At least in Canada, he might be more effective winning Super Bowls there.
It's a something to think about for people out there who are Raven fans, Lamar supporters, whatever you are. We just want to see the player take better care of himself, because taking better care of yourself means don't be sorry, be careful. Your body is your bag, so no body, no bag. You don't want to be a body bag. Your body is your bag. It's levels to this. That's a double entendre. We flipped it, but it's all right. But with that being said, final thoughts as we wrap this up. Lamar and Baker should be paid.
Yes.
Josh may have set the market. However, Josh set the market because he's been where? To the AFC Championship. Baker was within a defensive play away from being there. So let's make sure we understand that the two players that are probably going to get paid before Lamar have both shown some things that Lamar hasn't shown. Whether we want to talk about MVPs and all the rest of the other stuff is neither here nor there.
I don't believe in the MVP, so you know how I feel about that award. So,
well, you got a bias toward that award for other reasons, so we're gonna leave that alone.
I mean, bro, it's voted by the top 50 reporters that cover the NFL. I mean, what the hell do they know about film? You know what I mean? So it is, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Give me the Super Bowl MVP over everything.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, because you know, with the Super Bowl MVP, at least you get a vehicle.
That means you won. That means you won. That means you won at the professional level. Is that why we play the game? To get to the highest peak at the professional level. There's money here. So your number one goal should be to get to the highest peak at the professional level. I love the second place. So who remembers second place, man? Come on, man. Yo, this is a whole other subject. I could go hours about this shit. But you are a professional. Your number one job is to win, be the number one guy standing at the end of your profession. Period.
Hey, on to lighter notes, man, before Vic busts a blood vessel in his brain, man. We got camp notes. Of course, we still gonna break down divisions for you guys and everything like that as well. We're gonna talk about all 32, so don't worry about it. We got a lot to cover here in the next couple of weeks. But you know, the scene, views from 22, we got you. Let's start with Jacksonville. Now, I'm starting with Jacksonville for a reason. We drafted a cornerback last year, number 9 overall. When we drafted the cornerback 9 overall, we took him because we thought he was the best corner in the class, or the second best corner in the class in this situation, behind Jeffrey Okuda. CJ didn't play bad last year. He was a rookie. Word in Jacksonville's camp is they're looking to trade him. The word on the street is they want to trade him because he has value. But they like their other corners that they have better. So here's old Jeremy Wormy's question. When we draft players, we drafted players because we're in a division where we're going to have to do what? Score points, stop the other team from scoring points. You play against Deshaun Watson. At the time, it was Phillip Rivers. And you also have the Tennessee Titans. Every team in your division has a quarterback capable of throwing for 300 yards on any given day. So I figured that you were going to keep, you can never have too many corners as a philosophy in your mind. But you're willing to give away a guy in his second year in the NFL? Urban Meyer, you know what you playing for? To be back at Ohio State. Fix it. Because you look stupid. Vic?
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. Like, you said you're 100% sure it's just a value thing. This is obviously a new contingency there in terms of the coaching staff in Jacksonville is not the same that they had last year that drafted CJ. So they come in here, they like the other guys apparently. But like you said, man, like you can never have too many corners, so I'm interested to see if there's something else involved there. It just seems like there's something else involved with that situation. But this is a defense that needs to that needs to take a step forward again. They had all the pieces that they had the last 5 years disappear. They still got some young pieces that they can develop. But they have to, because now you got Goldilocks over there as your quarterback. Which, by the way, according to camp notes, he is looking pretty good. But of course, we'll see as preseason games start to kick off here very soon. And obviously the season, what exactly is Trevor Lawrence going to bring to Jacksonville?
And as a Buckeye fan, let me just throw in, we're cool with Ryan Day.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's fine. Well, with that being said, as you see, we got Category 5. Forecasts predict a lot of pettiness coming here in the near future.
Welcome.
Just so y'all know. With everything being said, we're gonna go to the Jets here. Hey man, we thought that Zach Wilson was the best quarterback in this class. Thought he was the best player in the draft. Zach has played phenomenal so far in camp. He's been hooking up with his second round pick, Mr. Elijah Moore, a lot. To go along with Elijah Moore and Zach Wilson being very, very close, they solidified the left side of their offensive line with their other first round pick that they took from USC, the left guard. And then Mickey Becton looks like he's going to be the left tackle. Vic, I know you're excited about that guy.
Oh yeah, that left side is going to be impressive, bro. If they develop to what we think they can be, that left side is going to be fun to watch.
And now the other word out of camp is that not only is Elijah Moore looking to be a guy who contributes right away early, but they're also looking at the rookie running back from UNC, Michael Carter, to be a much bigger part of the offense than what they originally thought, even though Tevin Campbell came over. So, Vic, we talked about Michael Carter a lot because those two running backs from UNC were pretty damn impressive when you watch them. I thought Javonte was a little better, but I do think that Michael Carter is a very capable player in this league.
But it's going to be interesting because, he is more of a scat back type of talent. More of the Alvin Kamara mold per se. Even though Kamara has gotten stronger as his career gone, he can run between the tackles. Michael Carter is the kind of guy you want in space and stuff like that with his speed and quickness. So it's going to be interesting to see how many carries or how many touches they give him per game and stuff like that. But so far, he is listed as the starter for the Jets. They don't have much in terms of depth after that, which is interesting. But the rest of that offense, they did a great job putting some pieces together. Of course, like you said, the draft pick Elijah Moore in the second round, which I have no idea how that kid lasted that far. We'll see how he turns out in terms of the receiving pecking order as time goes. But that kid was a first round grade for us. Of course, bringing in Corey Davis. You guys know how I feel about Corey. I think that he's a legit X. I think that, when he gets a quarterback that can throw outside the numbers better and with more accuracy, he may be a much better receiver and be able to produce more. And I think Zach Wilson is going to be that kind of quarterback. We think that he's a very special player, has so much arm talent. Not only that, though, I like the fact that he cared so much about his platform, how he, sets himself up for different passes and stuff like that. There is situations where you'll see him throw off his back foot or try to look pretty and stuff like that. But he does care about setting up his base. So it's going to be fun. As much, the Jets are the butt of jokes for everybody. It's good. That's going to be a fun offense to watch very soon. And I think that, Zach Wilson can do the same thing that they did, that Baker did for the Browns. Take a team that just won one game and the next season they won 8. So I could see a good 7-8 wins for the Jets this season based on how good if Zach Wilson can reach, the potential that we think he has.
And we're gonna go to another team here. We got our residence Bengals fan in the house tonight. So, the forecast predicts that there will be a Joe Burrow on week 1 sighting. He will be on the field. To go along with that, we get Jamar Chase with Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, another one of Vic's favorite guys. To go along with Joe Mixon, who I stand on the table for all the time, and tell y'all he does everything that the elite runners do. He just plays in Cincinnati and nobody sees him. I'm really interested to see what this Cincinnati team looks like this year. So, Storms, what's some of the camp breakdowns, some of the camp details that we got?
Talk to us.
And Mixon also didn't get any run blocking whatsoever before week 10 last year. So, we'll start with Burrow. He is projected to be back week 1. They're not expecting him to play or asking him to play from what I've seen in the preseason, which is fine. All indications out of camp is he looks fantastic. The one concern is he's not looked good under pressure, which is something when he played last year, before he got hurt, he excelled in those situations. So I'm wondering if that's just
mental,
getting that confidence back, that your knees back up to strength and getting over the fear of getting hit again. But it's something that he's said himself that he's not worried about, and he's not going to worry about it until he's affected that same way in week 1, which I don't know if I'm sold on that approach. If you don't do anything to correct that now, how is it supposed to be any different when you're on the field in week 1?
Well, I mean, real quick, I'm sorry if I interrupted you, but the only way you'll see if anything is going to work out is should he play preseason games. You know what I mean? So right. Even though it would be great if he could skip preseason for now, but if there's a mental issue when there's people kind of getting close to you, is that something that, because, man, listen, this kid it can be so special, man. Like, I love his game. And the last thing I want to see is him being affected because of just because somebody couldn't block, because if you watch that play, like, come on, man, you're a professional football player. and the way he got tagged and the way he let that guy in and get at Joe's knees it was tragic. And I just hope his career does not take a path a different way than we think that he can be.
Yeah, man, that I have nightmares about that play. But Jamar Chase has been just absolutely fantastic in camp. He's making all the catches. He's making One in particular, I saw on a 3rd and 15. He made a spectacular toe tap catch on the sideline with zero room from the DB. He's out there looking like a seasoned vet, and to pair that with Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, that gives you, in my very biased opinion, a top 3 receiving core.
I told y'all that's Odell Landry. That's the best traits of those 2 receivers, and you put them together, and you get Jamar Chase. He will be better I just want him to be healthy. Please give me a healthy Burrow and Jamar Chase for 10 years.
Yes.
He will be better than what Odell is now, and he will give you Jarvis-like production from every position that you could play as a wide receiver.
Bro, if Cincinnati liked Andy and AJ, they're going to love Joe and Jamar.
The thing is, man, like if he could even give you at least close to what Justin Jefferson was his rookie year, I mean, that should be fun, dude. That should be so fun, man. But again,
you're talking about a prospect that we talked about that didn't have very many flaws. Like, I've seen a lot of people try to nitpick on route running. His routes were tight. They were very, very tight, precise. They were effective.
Yeah, and nitpicking is something that,
right. And we have to understand this. This is a standard of running routes at Alabama. That's the route running school. LSU pumps out the talent that's just immensely better in a lot of different ways with catching the football and being explosive with the ball. I mean, of course, you got Julio. Don't get me wrong. Amari, Julio, and those guys are fantastic. But Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham were just different. Landry, they were different. Like Vic said it last year, the quickest player in football. That's Odell Beckham. When Odell is healthy, he's the quickest player in football, argument. So to go back to Storms, if Jamar looks good now, imagine when Burrow gets this base back, and imagine when they can get the timing back. I'm excited. Storms are going to a Bengals game. Go ahead.
We're going to at least one. I'm trying to go to several. But so to move on, the biggest issue for the Bengals over the last 3-4 since Andrew Whitworth left has been the offensive line. Now, I've got some positive here and I've got some negative here. Overall, as a unit, they've looked a hell of a lot better since Frank Pollard got to town. However, there are some big questions on both sides of the guard position right now. Jackson Carman, the second-round draft pick, has been struggling. Michael Jordan is still incredibly inconsistent. They've got fourth-round rookie Deontay Smith taking first-team reps now. Quentin Spain is not – he's not looking like the guy that played last year. The guy that came in and rejuvenated that run blocking scheme and gave Joe a little bit of room to work between the tackles. That's not there right now. So, we've got some time before the season starts. Hopefully they can right the ship. But when you've got a fourth round rookie that I can't remember who it was, but one of the Bengals beat writers said he had to ask who this guy was taking first team reps. That's not a good sign.
Can I throw something else in there, Storm?
Yeah.
Me and Vic scouted Billy Price, and me and Vic scouted Jonah Williams. There is no way on God's green earth that those two players can't be your left guard and your right guard, or your center and your left guard, bro. There's no way. Billy Price has to play better, period. That's a first-round pick, bro. This is unacceptable. Jonah Williams.
Not only is he first round, he was what, like, he wasn't even bottom half. He was like 14, right?
No, Billy was in the 20s. Jonah was in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Jonah should have been a left guard his first day in the
From the
NFL.
beginning.
We've
From the
been
beginning.
bro.
No,
Listen,
I'm with you on that, but Zach Taylor doesn't want to hear it.
and listen. This is the problem that we're having in the NFL today. And I'm going to stand on my damn table and I'm going to say it. The coaching talent is atrocious.
How long I've been saying it, Jerm? How long I've been saying it, Jerm?
For at least 4 or 5 years now. It's about 4 or 5 years now. We got to stop this. We got to stop this moving players and putting them. Bro, just because a player projects as a left tackle in college is certain traits that you need. Jonah's arms are not long enough. I hate to put it into the scouting terminology, but the arms are not long enough. The kick step is not mechanical enough. And to be all the way straight forward, he looks better going forward than he does backwards. That means he's either a swing tackle, a right tackle. Swing tackle means he plays right tackle, or you can move him in power formations and he plays right tackle, just so we can be politically correct and give all of the terminologies. Or you put him at right tackle officially, because right tackles don't have to have the same mobility as the left guy. Left, luxury, right, run. That's really that simple.
Right. But instead, Taylor said, all right, put some weight on, get you up to 315, and we're good.
But 315 is going to slow him down. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Storm. Go ahead. I got nothing else. I got nothing.
That's all I got on Jonah. He's 315 now, and they think they got a tackle. So,
the thing is not projecting, because he projected as a guard, in our opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion. He projected as a guard, but just because he played tackle at a successful level in college, they left him there. You know what I'm saying? So it's the thing is, you move Jonah at left guard, then who plays your left tackle? That becomes a problem. Because if you would have put those guys at guard, him and Billy Price or Scen or whatever the case may be, who would have been your tackles now? Because then you would have to pass up on a Jamar Chase and get yourself one of those left tackles.
You know what, though? Russell Okung doesn't have a job.
At least something.
I mean, Storms, it's quite a few offensive line. Let me tell you something right now. Mitchell Schwartz doesn't have a job.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Mitchell
Like, there
Schwartz
are
not better.
options.
It's not better than
They're just
Riley.
not willing to consider
Riley Reef or whatever his name is. Hey, bro, I'm just trying to tell y'all, Mitchell Schwartz has played Pro Bowl level football quite a few years in this NFL. He went from Cleveland to Kansas City, and he was good in both places. I'm gonna be real with y'all, and I'm just gonna say it. If Cleveland didn't get Conklin this last couple of years, in the last year and a half, I would still be looking at them like, why did you let a right tackle go in his prime years for a I'm confused.
You said I was going to be petty.
I'm baffled, because now what I'm starting to see is I'm seeing that we're throwing our franchise quarterback under the bus.
I will say this, and I'm with you on everything that you're saying, but the reports have been that the play out of the tackles has been great. So now
that's good.
That is good, but you know you're going against one defense every day,
right?
So
no, you start to see soon when the scrimmages and the games. We'll see what happens. You know
what happens every year, Vic. You listen. Before we wrap up the show today, I'm gonna give y'all 5 things in the NFL offseason that grind my gosh darn gears.
Oh,
I'm gonna
hold
give
up.
you 5.
One more.
I'm gonna let you finish first. We're gonna end the show with that.
Oh no, that's just a quick. I'm just throwing out there. Jesse Bates is the best safety in the NFL.
He ain't the best, but he up there. He nice.
No, he's the best.
Let me tell you something. Storm. I stood on the table a couple of years ago and I said, Vic, this Jesse Bates kid from Wake Forest is an issue. Please get some tissue. He has everything you want from a safety prospect Vic says it every year. Jerm, what safety players you got for me? Jerm, what secondary players you got for me? Because I'm going to bring heat. I told y'all about Jair.
That was the first
I told y'all
round
about
player.
Eddie Jackson. I'm telling y'all every year I'm giving y'all players. This Jesse Bates dude is different. Instincts, tier 1. He can react and finish with the best linebackers in the league and to help you in the run game. And then to make the matters worse, he just happens to be around the ball at all times. He's a ball hawk. You can't teach much more. And he falls to the 4th round.
Yeah, he was a first round pick, if anything, early second. I don't know what happened with these guys there with the NFL there. So
the scouting talent is terrible, and I'm sick of it. Trav, Derwin, I need Derwin to stay healthy. I think me and Vic, we scouted Derwin James. Derwin James was like, what was he like, Vic, number 3 on our board that year?
Yeah, he fell to like 17 or whatever the hell.
I don't know how that happened either. Look,
yeah,
I don't know. I can't help y'all. I can only tell y'all what we see on the film, and we see good players, and every year they just fall, and they just keep falling, and I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. So with that being said, Cincinnati, any final words there, Storms, before we wrap up? Because I'm going to talk about one more team, then we're going to get out of here.
I'm still like, I'm happy Jamar Chase is a Bengal, but I'm still upset we have Jackson Carman and not Slater.
It's tough, bro, because like we talk about it, you're always there with us as well, Josh, in the lab and stuff like that. Like beef over everything if it's not the quarterback. But I don't blame them for the pick. I mean, because what Jamar Chase is going to bring is not only a receiver, but a leader, but a guy that's going to be downfield blocking for your running backs. That's winning football games. That's winning football.
I'm more upset that Slater isn't a Bengal than I am that they actually picked Chase over him.
Right. And the thing is, wasn't there more players that they could have went after instead of Carman? I
don't remember who, but there was somebody else that I had real high that still didn't go. One of the guys I was real high on didn't even get drafted. But
anyway, we could go deeper.
You talk about my guy from Grambling State.
Yeah, I can't think of his name at the moment, but
how about
David Montgomery? I think it was.
That sounds right. He whatever his name is, he signed as a free agent with, I think, Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he didn't get drafted either.
I know.
But how about my boy from the Hawaiian kid? The Hawaiian kid that he has some injury concerns, but if he stays healthy, he's going to be a dominant guard.
Who are you talking about?
I forgot his name. It's one of the Hawaiian kids that came out.
What, this year?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much time. Real quick with the Bengals, bro, if let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Josh, that offensive line is able to protect Joe. Bro, I see the Ravens going 4th in that division. It could be a situation where you got Cleveland, Pitt 1 and 2, and Cincinnati even beating out the Ravens. I would love to see it, but we'll see what happens, man. Somehow the Ravens will sneak in somehow.
The Views group will be a lot of fun if it falls that way.
Oh, my God. Nothing better than
who you talking about, Vic, because I can't. You're talking about you're not talking about Penny.
No. He's a left tackle from Oregon, but I got you. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Go with what you were gonna say.
The Dolphins, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this now so we understand this, so everybody's on the same page. Xavier Howard, the last 3 years, has maybe been the best cornerback in football. Period. That means he's been better than Jalen. People go say, oh, he's not been better than. I can show film and prove it. So what I'll do is I'll put film out and prove it. He's guarded Tyreek Hill one-on-one with no help. That's one of the tallest tasks, even though Tyreek is short, in football. You asking him to guard an Olympic track star one-on-one, and you mean to tell me that you don't respect the fact that he's done that? And in that game that they played against the Dolphins, Vic Patty Waddy threw 3 interceptions. And I remember Xavier playing very, very well underneath a one Tyreek Hill and taking something in the end zone. Please make sure that you do not get it twisted. He may be arguably right there with your Jalen Ramseys and your Stephon Gilmores as a cornerback. So when you sign Byron Jones from the Dallas Cowboys and you bring him over and you say he's now the highest paid on your team and this is the dude locking down half the field every week, I will want something done too. So I don't want to count money, but I want to count production. And his production is off the damn charts. He has played football at the highest level at the cornerback position the last 3 years with Jalen and with Stephon Gilmore. So please understand, Miami, first name Pay, middle name That, last name Man. Pay That Man is his name from now on. His mama is changing his birth certificate to Pay That Man. If you don't want to pay him, don't send him somewhere good. Don't send him nowhere where he's got to be on a bad team, because that's some hater type energy. Send him to a team that's willing to give you a first round pick and a third round pick. And even though they're going to be a little later, you said you didn't want them.
We'll take him.
Vic, I'm going to let you say what you got to say. Then I'm going to get to my 5 things to wrap and grind my gear. And then we're going to
listen, bro, I'm with you. Even though at the time he was given the highest cornerback in the league pay at the time that he signed that contract, he's still top 5. Unfortunately, the Dolphins have 2 of those top 5 contracts now in the secondary. But then again, it's not unfortunate if both of those guys are producing. So, I'm with you, man. Like Xavier has been unbelievable. If he's not the best corner, Jair is, and that's it. So hey, if they got to take that money, if they got to give him more money, then it is what it is.
Here's my thing though. But yeah, like because like you said, he's top 5. One of those other guys is a teammate, but he's making twice the amount of money he is that Xavier is. So, and like you guys have been saying, Howard is the better of the 2. So something needs to be done there.
Yeah.
Make it right.
Make him happy. It is what it is.
There's all types of stuff that can be done. Y'all can convert something into y'all can convert part of a salary into a bonus. Y'all can do a lot of things. It's a lot of things you can do. But it's just about what's your, and listen, and the Temptations would say it's just my imagination. It is what it is. It's just my imagination, but I don't have an imagination when it comes to this film. And Xavier Howard is that dude. I need y'all to understand, anybody under 6 feet is probably getting shut down. That's how good he is. You need to be, in order to beat him, you need to be bigger than him, and you need to be just as fast, and you need to be able to have a quarterback that's going to make some throws. Ask Tom Brady and Brandon Cooks. So the 5 things in the offseason that grind my gears. Number 1, I hate when a defense says that they're good, or an offense says that they're good in offseason camp. Nobody cares. Y'all know the playbooks. Who cares? Y'all think that this is dog. I don't care that he got 5 interceptions in a game. I don't care about that stuff. Y'all talking about stuff that don't even mean. They're playing touch football. They're playing flag football. And y'all sitting here talking about what everybody's doing so great in camp. I don't care. We talk about on this show camp bright spots, things that the rookies, the camps are for the rookies. Okay? They're for the rookies. So if we're going to talk about veteran players, the vets look great in practice. Well, week 1, when they getting their ass kicked, I don't want to hear about what happened in the offseason or in preseason. I'm sick of it. Let's stick to what the offseason is about. It's about the cream of the crop, the guys that come in from the rookie class. Let's stick to it that way. Number two, I'm sick and tired of the sad ass song every year of everybody's team is going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sick of it. You're not going. It's realistically only 4 or 5 teams every year that have a shot. Parity has never existed in professional sports. This goes for soccer. This goes for baseball. This goes for football. And it goes for basketball. I don't care that you think your team is going to win. They're probably not. They're probably going to be slaw as hell. And your quarterbacks are all slaw as hell most of the time. It just comes down to it. We're just going to be real. All right, number 3. If I hear one more time that we want to get rid of young talent because we like the other talent that we brought in the offseason, I'm going to fire the coach myself. Urban Meyer, this is for you. You have young talent. You need young talent to go with old talent to build a roster. So why do you want to bring in old talent to this young roster that doesn't make sense? If I hear Tim Tebow throws a pass as a Jacksonville Jaguar, I will boycott the Jacksonville Jaguar franchise, and I will personally start a petition to get them folks the hell out of my NFL. I'm sick of it. Not for long. That's what Jacksonville's NFL career stands for. If I see Timothy Tebow ever throw a pass for Jacksonville, period. Number 4, if I hear one more person compare Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes based on stats one more time and not include passing yards, I need you to exit stage left. And I need you to ask yourself and sit yourself in the corner. We are comparing 2 different players in 2 different offenses. It has to stop. Stop building up one player and comparing another player that doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's petty. It's stupid. It makes you look bad. It makes me mad. It just doesn't do any good. Nothing good ever happens from that. So at the end of the day, be a fan. Sit there, be a good fellow, and it just is what it is. Listen, if your team don't win the Super Bowl, it's okay. But you're never going to win the Super Bowl being unrealistic. And that starts at the top. The front office needs to stop being irrealistic. And number 5, if your front office does not take care of its franchise quarterbacks, if your franchise is not going to go hard for the guys that they draft early, for the talent that they develop, if they're going to continue to let the homegrown talent walk out the door each and every offseason, but then they want to bring in old players just to supplement what they think they could have got from the young guys, your team needs to do 2 things. Number 1, they need to exit stage right. Now, why? Because they ain't right for doing that. And they need to cut that out. But number 2, they need to go ahead and they need to just go and say, hey, we don't want to win anything. We're just here to sell tickets because we're just going to put Band-Aids on the problem and we're not going to actually stop the bleeding. If I see y'all going to keep and continue to let your teams bleed in these areas, protect the quarterback. If you can't protect your quarterback, you don't need one. Send them somewhere else. If you're not going to go after a quarterback, don't get mad when you get torched for 300 yards. I don't care if you got 4 good all-pro corners. Corners are the one position that can be beat any and every down. And that's it. That's my rant. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You know we're going to see Tebow throw a few passes, right?
And not for long.
He shouldn't make the team.
I agree.
Listen,
I agree.
listen.
I'm just saying.
Tebow
I think it's gonna happen.
can't catch. Tebow can't catch. So now he's you know what? Final thoughts. Storms, category 5, please. Please go ahead.
Oh, now I want to see it happen just so I can see the rant Germ goes on the next View show afterward.
Mhm.
That's the only final thought I got. No, I lied. Zach Taylor, Frank Pollard, fix the guard position, and go get yourself another tackle and move Jonah.
That's how you fix it.
Fix it. That's it. That's my 2 words. That's the only 2 words I'm gonna say about the offensive line for the whole season until it gets right. Fix it.
I guess it's my turn. I just pray for health, man. Can we turn injuries off? Can everybody stay healthy? I want to see everybody at their max level, at their highest capacity, at their highest potential. We'll have some very entertaining football. Other than that, man, it was a great show, fellas. I think I enjoyed it. We got more to come. Definitely get into film lab for sure.
That being said, I'm pissed off, Jern. That's Vic. That's category 5. Views from the 22. We're going to have some more shows coming up for you guys. Make sure you guys are tuned in live on the scene. We got an announcement coming up this week. So make sure you guys are stay tuned for that. We're still going to break down the divisions and some teams and everything else. Be on the lookout for that. I know 94 is due for a show coming up soon. I know Stoppage Time is coming up with a new show soon. And also, of course, I know the Dish got a lot of good stuff for you guys coming up here as well, because I know you guys are paying attention to this game that they dropping. That being said, we got Vic, Storms, Germ, live on the scene. We out, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.